Hello everyone, today's topic is values of biodiversity. As we know that biodiversity includes everything from gene to ecosystem level. Biodiversity provides us numerous resources, both plants and animals, which have tremendous benefits for the humans as well as other animals and ecology as well. Okay, let us begin this lecture with a common question. Why is biodiversity important? Ecosystem and species provide an enormous range of goods and other services, immediate as well as long-term, materials as well as spiritual and psychological, which are vital to our well-being. My dear friends, have a look on this picture. Here are some notable examples of this question, why biodiversity is important. Okay, let me explain it. When we talk about the biodiversity, this biodiversity provides us, as I already told, that it provides us from the gene to ecosystem level. If we talk about the ecosystems and their services, in this biodiversity we have different ecosystems, and those ecosystems provide different services for livelihoods and well-being. These ecosystems provide different pathways of trophic structures and different cycling materials which helps sustains and maintain the life on earth by providing different products. For example, if we take an example of an terrestrial ecosystem, for example forest provides us food, fiber and other essentials. Similarly, aquatic ecosystem that provides us water, fishes, vegetables and other resources, so on and so forth. Similarly, here we have so many ecosystems that provide just different services as well as goods. Now, after the ecosystems, let's talk about a small level of organization that is known as bacteria and microbes. Bacteria and microbes, those are present everywhere in on this earth, or we can say ecosystems are in this biodiversity as the topic is concerned. So dear friends, these bacteria and microbes, it seems that these are useless, but without them we are perhaps incomplete, or we can say without them there are so many processes that is not uh, possible that a superpower man can do it or any machinery can do it. Here I will give only one example, that these bacteria and microbes transform wastes into usable products. For example, decomposition. Then insects. These pollinate crops and flowers. Coral reefs and mangroves protect the coastlines. Similarly, biologically rich landscapes. These provide enjoyment that is also called an aesthetic values. Okay. So now let let us about those things which biodiversity provides us, or we can say goods, are commonly known as values. Dear friends, now let's talk about the values provided by the biodiversity. The values of biodiversity, or we can say the Earth's biological resources, are broadly classified into two types. One is direct and another is indirect. Direct values include consumptive and productive use values, and indirect these are non-consumptive, or we can say ecological, aesthetic, social and cultural, ethical and dear friends, direct use values of biodiversity are those values which we directly consume or produce into another products. As I already discussed that these include consumptive and productive use. As far as consumptive values are concerned, these are also known as non-market values, meaning products which are directly consumed without going to market. Man is almost dependent on plants and animal resources for his dietary requirements. A major share of our food comes from domesticated crops and animals. As far as food resources is concerned, that there are so many edible plants which are present in different ecosystems, and some are domesticated or some are wild. Still, we derive major food from wild species in addition to domesticated ones. A large section of human population is dependent on food which we gather from seas and oceans, that is harvested from free-roaming wild organisms. If we talk about only food resources as a consumptive use, we have 80,000 edible plant species which are directly used as food, and 90% of food crops domesticated from wild tropical plants. Biodiversity provides us various food products from animals and plant origin as already discussed in the previous slide. As far as foods from the plants is concerned, these include grains, vegetables and fruits, nuts, tea and coffee, oils, etc. Similarly, animals provide us different foods: meat, milk, eggs, fish, honey, etc. So, dear friends, the second value of biodiversity is productive use values, or we can say market values. Products that are commercially harvested for exchange in normal in sorry products that are commercially harvested for exchange in formal market, such as various animal products which are commercially usable where the product is marketed and sold. For example, animal skin, medicinal plants, fibers, tusks of elephants, musk from musk deer, silk from silk moth, worms, wool from sheep, etc. Wild gene resources traded for use by scientists for introducing desirable traits in crops and domesticated animals. After that, in this productive use, trade and commerce industries is very largely dependent on the goods harvested from various biological resources, such as forests. Besides timber, firewood, and other wood products, we get many valuable commercial products from forests and use as raw material in various industries such as leather industry, pearl industry, paper and pulp industry, ply industry, railway sleeper industry, textiles. And in addition to that, we get different products from wild gathered and harvested from the various plant species like cane, rattan, gum, wax, tannin, scissor, rubber, etc. Product to use, we have medicinal plants which we collect from different forests, and certain are domesticated at different places in parks or under the experimental conditions. Medicinal herbs have different values for different elements. Many medicinal and aromatic plants are being exploited in the wild to tap their potential for different elements cure in the field of drug extraction. For example, penicillium, used as antibiotic, is derived from a fungus called penicillium. Penicillin. Second is vimblastin and vincristine. These are two anti-cancerous drugs that have been extracted from a plant species called periwinkle or catharanthus plant. Here's the picture of that plant. We have one more example, that is quinine, that is obtained from the bark of cinchona tree. Artemisia absinthe, it's a commonly used medicinal herb for various ailments. And we have different uh, other medicines which we collect from animal origin also, like we have hormone we have different animal products. Those are converted into the medicines, or we can say that these are the source of the drugs. Analgesics and pharmaceutical properties, antibiotics, heart regulators, anti-cancers, and parasite drugs, blood pressure regulators, anticoagulant enzymes, and hormones which were extracted from various animal origins. Now, my dear friends, towards the indirect values of biodiversity. Indirect values are non-consumptive uses and optional for the future. These include ecological, aesthetic, social and cultural, ethical, and optional values. Let's discuss them one by one. First of all, ecological values. Ecological values are, we can say, services provided by the biodiversity towards the ecology. For example, carbon fixing through photosynthesis, which provide the support system for the species, maintaining water cycles, recharging groundwater, protecting watersheds, absorbing and decomposing pollutants, organic wastes, pesticides in air and water or in the soil. Soil production and soil formation. Similarly, we have one more example, buffering from climate extreme conditions such as flood, drought, and other environmental conditions, etc. and so forth. We have another property of this indirect values, that is called aesthetic values. While the species of plants and animals have appealed man's physique, human society has evolved from early habitat in the forests, which bound and abounds in flora and fauna. Till date, his instinct to observe the nature in the wild calls him from socially and culturally an evolved society, as tourists from far and wide places. Thousands of tourists visit different places such as national parks, sanctuaries, forests, hill stations of different countries and states, and especially in the mountainous areas. Ecotourism is estimated to generate about $12 million of revenue annually from these aesthetic values. Other values of this biodiversity, which is indirect value, that is called social and cultural. A particular species or community of organisms may have emotional value for a group of people who feel that their identity is inextricably linked to the natural components of environment that shaped their culture. This may be expressed as values associated with social life, customs, religions, psychospiritual aspects of people. Biodiversity provides us various plants and animals that have been worshipped in Hindu religion and are considered holy. For example, tulsi, people, mango, lotus, cow, snake, monkey, etc. We have one more ethical value, which is again considered as indirect value of biodiversity. In this ethical value, we talk about different things. First of all, species have a normal right to exist. It means that moral justification for conservation of biodiversity is based on the belief that species, either that is a single-celled or multicellular species, small or big species, tall or short species, whatever species it is, have a normal right to exist, independent for his needs for on them. Or we can say every life form has its own right to live and harmony on this planet Earth. Second, live and live let. It is a concept that is constituently the argument follows that our rulers as most intelligent species on the earth, for example humans, we have a responsibility to try as much as possible for the continuance or sustenance for all life forms. And the last one in this ethical value is all life must be preserved. It means ethical values are deep rooted within human culture, a religion, and society. But those who look on the cost of benefit analysis, they overlook these ethical values. Now, optional values. Optional value is the value of knowing that there are biological resources on this biosphere that may one day be proven to be an effective option for something important in the future. Values include the potential of biodiversity that are presently unknown and need to be explored. This refers to those values or uses of various species for the benefit of mankind which may be used in the future. The hunt for various species under the scope of biotechnology is already underway for finding solutions to various environmental problems and issues like pollution as a major problem, ways to fight various diseases, cancer, diabetes, AIDS, etc. Thanks for watching this channel EVS Edu. For more such kind of lectures, please subscribe and press the bell icon. And if you have any query regarding this topic, please write down in the comment section below. Thank you.